GRU Spetsnaz. GRU Spetsnaz is the Military Intelligence Directorate's special purpose force created in 1950 to operate behind enemy lines during the Cold War. They wear blue berets to blend with airborne troops, a deception tactic that became standard Soviet practice. Their mission set includes strategic reconnaissance, direct action against nuclear missile sites, and unconventional warfare deep inside hostile territory. Each brigade contains roughly 1,300 men, including an 80-man anti-VIP company whose sole purpose is political and military assassination. During the Cold War, these assassination teams were stationed throughout Eastern Europe with target folders on Western leaders, ready to execute decapitation strikes within hours of war. Training involves extreme physical conditioning, Sambo martial arts, and the disturbing ability to accurately throw hand grenades from 80 to 160 feet while running. These are not hearts and minds operators. These are strategic-level saboteurs trained to collapse enemy command structures before tanks even cross the border. Naval Spetsnaz. Naval Spetsnaz is the maritime counterpart to GRU units, specializing in underwater infiltration and coastal reconnaissance. Their dark reputation traces to 1956, when British Frogmen Lieutenant Commander Lionel Crabb vanished while inspecting a Soviet cruiser. In 2007, former Soviet frogman Eduard Koltsov claimed he caught Crabb placing a mine and cut his throat. They specialize in deep cover intelligence gathering, boarding enemy vessels, and securing diplomatic outposts in hostile waters. During Syria deployments, the 431st Naval Reconnaissance Brigade provided 230 to 250 operators for sniper teams and reconnaissance missions. Training mirrors GRU standards, but adds extensive diving instruction, underwater combat techniques, and shipboarding procedures. They wear the same blue beret to maintain operational security, blending into naval infantry until they surface from black water to execute their mission. The ocean is not a barrier to them. It is a highway. They travel silently, leaving no witnesses. Alpha Group. Alpha Group is the Federal Security Service's premier counterterrorism unit, formed in 1974 for hostage rescue and high-risk arrests. They wear distinctive maroon berets and operate under the FSB, giving them jurisdiction over internal threats. Alpha specializes in counterterrorism operations involving planes, trains, and buildings, with their unofficial motto being "Win and come back." They gained global attention during the Chechen Wars, executing intense hostage rescue operations that frequently ended in catastrophic bloodshed. The Budyonovsk hostage crisis was one of Alpha Group's major early post-Soviet operations, where the unit twice tried to storm the seized hospital and free hostages from Chechen militants. These failed assaults caused heavy civilian casualties, damaged Alpha Group's reputation, and pushed the authorities to end the crisis through negotiations instead. Training emphasizes close-quarters battle, explosive breaching, and tactical medicine for mass casualty scenarios. Alpha operates with around 1,000 operators, significantly larger than Western Tier 1 units. This is counter-terrorism through overwhelming violence. They do not negotiate, they breach, they engage, and they accept that collateral damage is the price of decisiveness in a world where terrorists hide behind children. Vympel. Vympel is the FSB's Strategic Site Protection Unit, originally formed in 1981 as Directorate V to secure nuclear power plants and transportation hubs. The unit continues the lineage of two elite Cold War KGB special units called Cascade and Zenith. They wear maroon berets and maintain an estimated strength of 1,000 operators. Their function centers on protecting Russia's nuclear facilities, weapons depots, and strategic industrial sites from sabotage or terrorist attack. Vympel operates 4 primary units in Moscow with branch offices in nearly every city containing a nuclear power plant. Unlike Alpha's hostage rescue focus, Vympel trains extensively in site defense, perimeter security, and explosive ordnance disposal. They conduct covert operations that remain highly classified, with operators conducting deep cover intelligence work. Vympel exists because Russia learned a hard lesson. Your enemies will try to destroy what you cannot afford to lose: nuclear reactors, command bunkers, and weapon storages. So Vympel stands watch, invisible until someone tries to breach the perimeter, at which point they become very visible very quickly. SMERSH. SMERSH is the FSB's counterintelligence and deep cover unit operating under Directorate S to conduct clandestine operations abroad. The name translates to whirlwind, which perfectly captures their approach to espionage and sabotage missions. Unlike Alpha and Vympel, SMERSH operators rarely wear uniforms, instead working under deep cover identities that can last months or years. They specialize in infiltrating foreign intelligence services, conducting political assassinations, and executing covert sabotage operations against enemy infrastructure. SMERSH gained notoriety for alleged involvement in overseas assassinations of dissidents and defectors, though official confirmation remains classified. Training emphasizes tradecraft over raw combat skills, including surveillance, detection, social engineering, poison administration, and creating convincing cover identities. Operators learn multiple languages, cultural immersion techniques, and how to operate sophisticated surveillance equipment disguised as everyday objects. The unit remains shrouded in secrecy with no publicly known strength estimates or organizational structure. SMERSH represents the darkest evolution of Soviet-era wet-work teams. They are ghosts who appear in foreign capitals, execute their mission with clinical precision, and vanish before local authorities even realize something happened. MVD Spetsnaz. MVD Spetsnaz are special-purpose units under the Ministry of Internal Affairs, originally created to suppress prison riots and handle violent domestic unrest. These units function as militarized police rather than military special forces, giving them authority to deploy against civilian targets that regular Spetsnaz cannot legally engage. They gained brutal experience during the Chechen Wars, conducting urban combat operations and counterinsurgency missions in cities like Grozny. MVD units wear black berets and operate with significantly less restrictive rules of engagement than military forces. Their primary missions include high-risk warrant service, riot control, hostage situations involving criminals rather than terrorists, and suppressing organized crime networks. During the siege of Beslan School in 2004, MVD Spetsnaz participated in the catastrophic rescue attempt that left 334 dead. Training focuses on urban combat, crowd control tactics, less lethal weapons systems, and operating in environments where civilians vastly outnumber operators. They represent the uncomfortable reality of Russian security doctrine. When protests become uprisings, when riots threaten state control, MVD Spetsnaz deploy with live ammunition and orders to restore order by any means necessary. KSSO. KSSO is the Special Operations Forces Command, established in 2009 to coordinate all Russian special operations under unified command. This organization represents Russia's attempt to create a structure similar to United States Special Operations Command. KSSO oversees GRU Spetsnaz brigades, naval reconnaissance units, and airborne special forces, providing strategic-level planning and resource allocation. The command standardizes training, doctrine, and equipment across previously independent units that operated with minimal coordination. KSSO headquarters controls deployment of elite forces to conflict zones, ensuring the right capability matches each mission requirement. They played a significant role coordinating special operations during the Syria intervention, where multiple Spetsnaz units operated simultaneously. The creation of KSSO marked a fundamental shift in Russian military thinking, recognizing that modern warfare requires integrated special operations rather than independent commando raids. However, inter-service rivalry and bureaucratic infighting continued to plague the organization. With GRU and FSB units resisting centralized control, KSSO exists because Russia watched American special forces dominate unconventional warfare for 2 decades and decided they needed a similar structure. Whether they can overcome Soviet-era institutional mistrust remains an open question. SOBR. SOBR stands for Rapid Response Special Unit, operating under the National Guard to handle armed criminals and high-risk law enforcement operations. These teams were originally created in 1992 as OMON's tactical counterpart, focusing on heavily armed suspects rather than crowd control. SOBR units deploy for bank robberies, hostage situations involving criminals, drug cartel raids, and capturing armed fugitives. They wear black uniforms and operate with paramilitary organization, bridging the gap between police tactical teams and military special forces. Each major Russian city maintains a SOBR detachment, providing rapid response capability within their jurisdiction. Training emphasizes close quarters battle, tactical entries, marksmanship with various weapon systems, and hostage rescue in civilian environments. SOBR gained extensive combat experience during deployments to the North Caucasus, where they conducted counterinsurgency operations against insurgent networks. Unlike MVD Spetsnaz, who handle riots and mass unrest, SOBR targets specific high-value criminals who outgun regular police forces. SOBR kicks down doors and ends the problem with overwhelming tactical violence. OMON. OMON stands for Special Purpose Mobile Unit, functioning as Russia's riot police and internal security force under the National Guard. These units were created in 1988 to handle civil disturbances, protests, and public order operations that regular police could not control. OMON wears distinctive blue camouflage uniforms and grey berets, making them instantly recognizable during street deployments. Their primary missions include crowd control, securing government buildings during protests, hunting fugitives, and conducting high-risk arrests. Each Russian region maintains an OMON detachment, providing local authorities with paramilitary forces they can deploy within hours. They gained international notoriety for brutal tactics against protesters, including indiscriminate beatings and mass arrests during political demonstrations. OMON also deployed extensively to Chechnya, where they conducted patrols, checkpoint operations, and cordon and search missions. Training focuses on non-lethal weapons, baton techniques, shield formations, tear gas deployment, and transitioning to lethal force when riots escalate beyond control. OMON represents the iron fist inside Russia's velvet glove of public order. When citizens gather to protest government policies, when demonstrations threaten state authority, OMON arrives in armored buses and reminds everyone who holds the monopoly on violence. SSO. SSO stands for Special Operations Forces, an elite tier within the GRU established in 2013 to conduct strategic-level missions. This unit represents Russia's newest generation of special operators trained specifically for hybrid warfare and grey zone operations. SSO operators focus on unconventional warfare, foreign internal defense, special reconnaissance, and direct action missions requiring strategic impact. They differ from traditional GRU Spetsnaz by emphasizing covert influence operations, training proxy forces, and conducting operations with plausible deniability. SSO deployed extensively during the Ukraine conflict, operating without insignia as little green men who seized strategic sites before conventional forces arrived. The unit maintains extremely high selection standards, accepting only experienced Spetsnaz veterans who demonstrate advanced tactical skills and language proficiency. Training includes cultural studies, advanced communications, working with indigenous forces, and executing missions with minimal support infrastructure. SSO operators often grow beards and dress in civilian clothing, blending into local populations while conducting reconnaissance or organizing resistance movements. This is modern warfare's cutting edge, where special forces create political facts on the ground before governments even acknowledge conflict exists. SSO does not invade countries. They simply appear, accomplish strategic objectives, and vanish before anyone figures out who sent them. Zaslon. Zaslon is the Foreign Intelligence Service's Special Operations Unit, created in 1998 to protect Russian intelligence officers operating abroad. The unit operates under the SVR, Russia's equivalent to the CIA, giving it jurisdiction over covert operations in foreign countries. Zaslon specializes in close protection for intelligence officers, conducting exfiltrations of compromised agents, and executing direct action missions against foreign intelligence threats. They differ from other Spetsnaz units by operating exclusively outside Russian borders under deep cover identities. Zaslon's existence remained classified until 2006, and details about their operations remain extremely limited. The unit reportedly maintains a strength of around 300 operators, all recruited from elite military special forces backgrounds. Training emphasizes foreign language fluency, operating under non-official cover, close protection tactics, and conducting armed rescues in hostile countries. Zaslon operators have allegedly deployed to conflict zones worldwide, protecting SVR intelligence officers conducting espionage operations. They represent the armed guardian angels of Russian intelligence, the men who ensure spies can operate in hostile territory knowing someone watches their back. When foreign counterintelligence closes in, when operations go catastrophically wrong, Zaslon appears to extract their people or eliminate the threat. Either way, someone is leaving the country tonight. Spetsnaz VDV. Spetsnaz VDV are airborne special forces units operating within Russia's airborne troops. Combining parachute insertion with commando tactics, these units function as the rapid deployment tip of the spear, capable of seizing strategic objectives deep behind enemy lines within hours. VDV Spetsnaz wear the distinctive blue and white striped Telnyashka undershirt and light blue berets of airborne forces. Their missions include airfield seizure, destroying enemy command posts, reconnaissance for follow-on airborne assaults, and establishing blocking positions to disrupt enemy reinforcements. They gained combat experience during the Soviet-Afghan War, conducting mountain warfare operations and ambushing Mujahideen supply convoys. VDV Spetsnaz participated in the rapid seizure of Pristina airport during the Kosovo conflict, deploying 200 troops who occupied the airfield before NATO forces arrived. Training emphasizes advanced parachute techniques including halo and ha-ho insertions, airborne operations planning, and operating with minimal logistics support after insertion. These operators embody the VDV motto, "Nobody but us." They jump from aircraft at night, land in hostile territory surrounded by enemies, and accomplish their mission knowing relief might never arrive. VDV Spetsnaz are what happens when you combine airborne infantry with special operations mindset and accept that some missions require men willing to land in hell with no guarantee of extraction. Stay tuned to our next video. Sub now so you don't lose it.